San Antonio's Metro Health is under scrutiny tonight from one of its partners in governance. Bexar County leaders are raising questions about the health unit's competence. Eyewitness News reporter Marvin Hurst with the bombshell and the response.
A proposal about rapid coronavirus testing at this year's San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo ventured into critical territory. Tuesday, Bexar County commissioners talked about setting a COVID-compliant standard at county facilities to protect the public.
And I know people who got positive at the Alamo Dome.
Commissioner Tommy Calvert says county officials wanted to avoid the backlash the city of San Antonio got from the Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith fight in December. More than 11,000 watched the city-approved event while everyday citizens were told not to gather to stop the spread of COVID-19.
And I'll give you an example. At the Alamo Dome, I know vendors who were working in the food booths. They own food companies, and they watched the Metro Health inspectors who were there for the Canelo fight leave early. They weren't inspecting. They were supposed to be wiping down things every hour.
In a statement, city officials confirmed, quote, there were personnel assigned to the Canelo Smith event who left before their shifts were completed, end quote. But the city says the workers did not work for Metro Health. Former mayoral office and health department employee Commissioner Rebecca Clay-Flores had this to say.
I just want to comment on what you said about Metro Health. So I think that's a whole other level of conversation because the incompetency at Metro Health starts with the leadership.
She continued.
And as we know, the culture of an organization starts from the top down. There's incompetent leadership at Metro Health, which of course dwindles down.
The city of San Antonio has not responded to the competency questions at its agency leading the coronavirus response, or what happened to the workers at the boxing match, or if their working relationship with the county may need some healing. Marvin Hurst, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.